Yeah, bro.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
you can definitely feel it.
Yeah,
Yesterday I woke
absolutely.
up. Yesterday I woke up for church, man. I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little more rested. I'm with this. I'm with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got people in the building. We got Darcel in the house. Let's put it up. We got Darcel in the building. So glad that you're rocking with us. And who else do we have? We had none other before the billions as well. He says salute.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Go ahead,
Good
y'all.
morning, y'all.
Drop it in the chat. A good morning. We want to know how your morning is going, how your weekend went. We got Tech Coach Ralph in the building. He's saying
What it
good
do?
morning. And if you didn't know, I'm gonna always praise him for that drop there, that beginning intro show, because he with his producing magic or skills, I should say, put that together. So if you want to hit him up as your new A&R, if you producer, go ahead and reach out to him. And he's like, no, us listening. I don't want that.
Look,
The coach we need, Darcel says, the coach we need.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be like, dang, what was that? Gonna be like Death Row. If you mess with him, he's gonna be like Death Row, man.
QA Records. QA
Yeah,
Records.
nah. If you want to make some real music, come to QA Records.
Y'all gotta hear
Y'all
Darcel
don't know
song.
what y'all don't know where that's from. That's from a '90s award show, man.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know where that's from.
Yeah. All in red, just on stage, just
Yeah, buddy.
yelling. Everybody's scared of him. Tech Coach Ralph said, y'all
It,
gotta hear Darcel song. What? Darcel got a song too? He just dropping
oh dang.
hits all over the place. Oh man. Now we're gonna have to hear that. Now somebody's to come up on stage and share that with us. We need to know. Oh, Reese is in the building as
Hey,
well. Oh man. I'm still trying
great
to hold on
morning.
to find out what Darcel's song is. Now I want to hear it. I want to hear the song. I want to hear the song. Oh man, so we talked about it before, but let's talk about it with the audience. How was your weekend, brother? I know we kind of didn't get a chance to dive in it, but if you want to share it again, you can share.
Oh
Um,
man, it
yeah,
we haven't I don't think oh well I didn't yeah we didn't go into the weekend on here. It was all right, bro. It was straight, man. I had the baby all weekend, you know.
yeah.
Hospital life schedules be changing, so the wife had to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday
Hmm.
this week, and I mean we had a good time, man. I say majority of the time it was good. Yeah, she was great at church, so it was all good, all smiles, all happy. But hey, takes up that time though. She took up all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, that no, it was good though. Good weekend, good weekend. How about yourself?
Oh, I know how that is. Now this weekend was good overall. Saturday, I normally, I either put out a video or go live, but I had to just take time to just kind of be with the family and make sure everybody was good. And so, y'all, forgive me, I didn't do it this week, but this weekend we are having a live. I have a guest coming up there that will be talking about the job market, a few other things that are happening in the world. You definitely want to be there for this live that's happening this weekend. So if you missed me for the past couple of weeks without a live, this is the one you definitely want to attend. But besides that, I actually had a night of worship at my church. It was awesome. And so I was participating in that last night. And then here we are with an extra hour of sleep. Woo!
Man,
Tell me, put it in the chat. How many of y'all appreciate that extra hour that you get in daylight savings time? How many of y'all
did you
appreciate it?
feel it? Did you
Did you
even
feel
feel
it?
it? Or
Oh
did
man.
you use that? Did you use that knowing that you was gonna get the extra hour, so you stayed up extra late, but so you didn't even actually get the extra hour? What happened?
Tell
Who
it.
does that?
We need to know. Well, while y'all put it in the chat, y'all, I want to talk about something, a couple of things real quickly. We have to remind y'all that we are blessed and privileged to be a part of the Alive. If you're not familiar with it, the Alive Podcast Network. And we talked about it last week, but I wanted just to make sure that y'all knew about what we're participating in, what we're a part of. But I actually got Darcel here. Darcel put it, he said, let me see if I can bring him up. He said, the extra hour led to some crazy dreams.
Oh snap!
I want to know those dreams now. I'm a little concerned myself.
That's that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I said a lot happened at 2 a.m. Uh oh.
Oh
See, somebody
snap!
stayed up late.
Hey, 2 a.m. I don't know. Was it the witching hour? Was it 2 a.m.
I think
now,
3 a.m.
or
is the
was it
witching hour,
3
right?
a.m.? I know, but I'm saying, was that 2 a.m. actually 3 a.m.? And then I don't know.
Oh man. Well, hey, listen, I mean maybe you want to share what happened at 2 a.m. Maybe not.
Uh,
I'll leave that up to your discretion. As this thing is recorded, so it'll be around. But yes, though there's a lot that happens. But again, we're part of the live podcast network. There's so many different brands that are on there that you definitely want to check out for yourself. And so when you get a chance, go to the livepodcastnetwork.com. Again, that's livepodcastnetwork.com, and then you're able to see all that's going on there. And then you might see our mugs somewhere on the website as well. Uh, she said it herself. She said, my point exactly.
hey,
Good
I
joke.
hear you.
Good joke. But yeah, definitely
Oh,
check out the yeah, go there you go. I'll try to see if I can share it. But yeah, there we go. With the live podcast network, we have it right here. As you can see, there's all bunch of different other podcasters on the stage. And as you can see our mugs right there, talk that tech. So we're in the building. Go ahead
hey,
and
we
check it
moving
out for
on. We
yourself.
moving on up on that
Moving
list, man.
on up. Moving on up
Yeah.
to the east side. Finally got a piece of the podcast pie. And so I was trying to save y'all from that sneeze. But it came through. So yeah, definitely check out that list, see what's out there for yourself, and enjoy. Woo, that's another thing too. That morning cold is the worst. But yeah, man. So that's that one. And then also, y'all, if y'all didn't know, I'm also an ambassador this year for Thanksgiving Summit. You may ask yourself, what is Thanksgiving Summit? Sounds cool, sounds interesting. Well, last year a few of us were able to descend down on DC. And in DC, we had a bunch over 16 to 2,000 tech professionals that came out for this event. You definitely want to be there. It's happening in Washington, D.C. from the 11th to the 14th. The tickets right now are pretty good, but I would encourage you to get them as soon as possible as the prices do get up. Now, this is for the entire event, $120 for the entire event, general admission. VIP is a little bit more, but this is not just a one-time event. You definitely want to get in now. Platinum Plus is only $365, and then if you want to get a hotel with your stay, they could actually do that for you as well. So definitely check out that for yourself. When I say they have tons of speakers, the list goes on. Job boards are there. You can actually get hired on the spot with some of these. You got an interview with Google, a few others. So if you are looking for a job, definitely check that out for yourself. 50 sessions. Actually, I'm wrong.
Mm.
300K, 300,000 attendees last year. So definitely
No,
check this
that's
out for
3,000. That's
yourself.
3,000, bro.
That
Not
yes.
300,000.
Oh, sorry.
Three
I
hundred
I,
thousand
I
is
got excited.
ridiculous.
I got excited. 3,000. 300,000.
Three
That'd be like
three
half the
hundred is
United
bigger than
States. Half
bigger
the
than a
United States.
stadium, man.
Half the United States up in there. But definitely check it out. You see Google, Microsoft, a few of the supporters are in the building, and you could definitely see from everything that just happened last year, all that went on. It was pretty cool, y'all. So definitely, if you can come to this event, I encourage you to definitely come to this event. Check it out. Bring a friend. Don't just come by yourself. Bring somebody who's interested either in getting into the tech industry or a vet in the space. They're gonna love it because I did. And it opened my eyes to all that was happening in there. There's tons of after hour stuff as well, after hour events. So you definitely want to be locked in and checking this out. If you are interested in doing coming out to this event, let me know in the chat. Put a turkey. Put a turkey in the chat because it's happening. This is November, so if you can just put the word turkey in the chat, then I know that you're interested in coming out to this event. But definitely check it out, y'all, for yourself. Again, this is the Thanksgiving Summit that's happening December 11th to the 14th. So you definitely want to be checking in with that, y'all. Checking in with that for sure. And so, with that being said, we're going to talk about a couple of different topics today, like we normally do. And the first one I'm going to talk about, or Trey's going to talk about actually, is what's happening in the medical field when it comes to technology, and specifically how they're using cameras to help them get a competitive advantage. And so, I'm going to pass it over to Trey to talk about the wearable medical cameras.
Yeah, man. So y'all know, first of all, tech is in every space, right? So if you're not in tech already and you're in the medical field, just I mean, obviously, you probably know there's medical tech as well. So you can just scoot on over there, use that experience, and just boom, parlay that into the tech industry. Anyway, what they're doing, listen, every industry is participating in AI as well. So how is the medical field doing that? We know they've been doing it for a while, right? Using the little utensils all the way away, just going in with it and getting it done. Anyway, right now they're using wearable medical cameras. Okay, the University of Washington, the School of Medicine has developed innovative wearable camera systems that basically it uses AI to see potential medication errors while you're in like the pharmacy and stuff like that. So basically, if you didn't know anything about the pharmacy, it's a high stress environment. You also have like other areas like the operating room, high stress environment, intensive care units, and emergency departments. So they are using these wearable medical cameras in there. So think about it like I used to work in a pharmacy years ago, right? What I'm saying, pushing pills, and you gotta really get those pills in the bottle like pretty fast, right? And sometimes you can make mistake with counting if you're not doing it right. Now, not me because I was taking my time. Look, you're not about to rush me or anything. It got me killing somebody. I'm not having it. So, anyways, but any what this does is the camera, the system, it combines a GoPro right with AI model. So they didn't even get real crazy with it. They just got something that was already on the market and then put their little juice on it, and then boom, you're good to go. But basically, what it does is it recognizes and identifies the medications that are being prepared for administration. And then basically, while they were testing it, y'all, the AI has some great accuracy. So 99.6% sensitivity in detection with a vial swap error. So they tried it on purpose and boom, caught it 99.6% of the time. And that's y'all see that's fentanyl on the screen. You can't put too much of that. Y'all know it's killing a lot of people around here. So you got to be careful with it. But 98.8% specificity in identifying correct medication transfers. So at this point, early on, the performance exceeded 95% accuracy, which was the threshold that they were trying to make. By most anesthesiologists. So they were pretty excited about that, y'all. And basically, just to share with y'all how it works. One, it captures video of the medication preparation activity. So whatever they're doing, then it analyzes those visual cues like the vial, the syringe size, the shape, the cap color, right? All that stuff makes matters, and then the label characteristics. And then number three, it focuses on the actual medication. So it ignores everything else in the background. And then lastly, it issues a warning before the incorrect medication is administered to the patient. So y'all, this should definitely improve. Like y'all know these nurses and all these people, they work long hours. They're in there doing a whole lot of stuff. And so sometimes medication errors do happen. So hopefully this is one thing that can kind of stop that from going on. It's using a 4K camera, 418 drugs, 13 anesthesiologists. They tried this, working with it. So it sounds pretty good so far. We'll see. It's still in the early stages, but it's showing super promise with the over 90 something plus with the percentile. So as obviously y'all, as AI continues to get better, as um, the deep learning continues to get better, applications like this are going to continue to come up, and we got to make sure we keep our ears to the street, right? Because sometimes stuff like this, it might be captured under a company that's publicly traded, and then you can get in on those earnings as well. Just want to throw that in there. But yeah, man, that's
Mhm.
it on that one.
Yeah, man, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, when he said he was pushing pills at first, I'm like, he has a testimony that I don't know about.
Ah,
But you saved that because you're like, yeah, back in my pharmaceutical days, I was like, I love
yeah, man.
it.
Yeah,
but
man. Nah, not illegally. I was a legal
no
pill
street
pusher, man.
pharmacists here.
No, 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 no. Look, man, I'm not going to jail.
I
Period.
won't go back. Can't go back.
Ain't going ever.
Yeah, I hear that. Oh man, but let me ask you, what are your thoughts, y'all? I think this is great. Honestly, I think this is great. Whatever could help us from decreasing human error, especially in the medical field, I think it's a win. Again, sometimes, hey, like you said it too, long hours, multiple shifts. Sometimes you get a little tired. Malpractice
I
is
didn't
not.
get mean with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got the ones that just don't care.
Oh, that too. That too. That's true.
Hey
That's
man, this
true.
patient getting on my nerves. So you ain't doing it. You ain't doing everything right. You know what I mean?
Mm. You might a little extra here, a little less there, but it's so true. Like there is that human element, and this could help you to help curb that. I have a question that I don't know if anybody can answer it, but I wonder if it kind of, like you said, would it kind of alert somebody if, oh, this nurse or this doctor or this medical professional is doing too much? Would it let
Mm,
the people that know, like, hey, watch out, alert, alert, this person right here is doing too much. I wonder if it will actually kind of have that sort of governance as well. That's very
I
interesting to
don't
me.
know.
Well, I'm gonna go
I
to
mean,
the
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would put that on there.
yeah. Well, let me go to the comment section because we got a few comments here. Trey went dark, lol, but honest.
Hey man, that's all I know. That's all that's just real talk. You know, I'm not gonna talk about the numbers on it, but hey, people be getting out of here and don't have to. For real, when you
Mm-mm.
go into some of those hospitals, man,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta know. I'm sure y'all know in your area, like, oh, don't go to that hospital. Can't go to that one.
Uh-uh. There will be problems,
Yeah,
big problems. Reese said, I think it's great for quality assurance. And I agree. I agree.
yeah.
I think it'll be great for quality assurance. And this actually makes Tech Coach Ralph said, AI needs an attitude alert too. Teach them how to do
Hey,
proper bedside manner.
hey, man, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. You come back to your little spot and it detects like your attitude is off. Hey, you need to go take a 5-minute break, unpaid. Get your attitude together.
Yeah. And Darso says he agrees. I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
a more uh somber tone with this because of a recent situation. So we have a friend. I have a friend as well, Tech Job Tina. I'm not too sure if you are familiar, Trey, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
uh, this is sad. There's a situation that, and I'll just share this story. You definitely, y'all check Tech Job Tina on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/ at Tech Job Tina after the show to see the full story. But basically, the situation was this: her father-in-law was complaining that he was not receiving great care. Let's just say
Mm,
like that. His father was not receiving great care, and what ended up happening was her husband, his son, they came up, they kind of drove all the way from where they were in Georgia all the way to Connecticut and to advocate for him because he's an elderly man. And unfortunately, the situation got, honestly, y'all gotta watch the video for yourself. But the situation got to the point where the police were called for no apparent reason. I won't get into too much details about it because I want you to watch the video. But definitely, injustice was done, and unfortunately, her husband, I think to this day, is actually in jail awaiting trial for
OMG.
something that honestly it could have been avoided. It was definitely, uh, in my opinion, racial profiling. But the whole point of it was that the father was not receiving the quality care that he believed that he could receive. And after the incident, after they came out to advocate for him, he started to receive that care. And so when you have these cameras and these situations like this, like quality assurance goes up because they know they're being monitored,
Yeah,
and they
man.
know that they're being watched. And so now the way they treat a patient, what they say to a patient, again, even though we're talking about specifically with syringes and making sure that the right amount of medical treatment is there, that layer of, okay, I'm being watched for, and how I'm treating this patient, in spite of how they may be treating me. Because I don't even imagine. First of all, I love my medical professionals. I love my nurses. I have family members that are nurses and doctors. So I would always advocate, especially for the good ones, that hey, I know it's a hard job, but there are, like you said, some rotten apples out there that are rottening it for the entire bunch because they're not treating certain patients well. And so for them, I would say,
Yeah,
hey, if
bro.
this is not a good job for you, then don't do it. Um, but for those that are doing an awesome job, keep up the great work. In fact, I think there should be a reward system with this. That if you're being monitored, you're doing great jobs, you're doing everything by the book. Hey, we need to bump up your pay. We need to do a little bit more for you because we want to value you. And then for those that are not doing what they should be doing, then we need to have a different conversation. But that's my opinion. Ori says healthcare operations need monitoring, and
Yeah, man.
I think this could open up a great conversation for that.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like I said, I don't. I was being lighthearted with it, but y'all, this stuff happens way more often than we think. That's why whoever comes up with that type of tech or that can really help on that side, even these right, like in administering certain medications and the right amounts, like it makes a big difference, y'all. I can't remember the name of the term. It's a term that is used when people are actually like offed by a doctor, maybe on accident, right? I can't
Yeah,
remember the actual term,
you talking
but
euthanasia?
huh?
Not euthanasia when they like do it on purpose, like putting somebody to
Uh,
sleep or something else.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
This is an accidental, like malpractice type, right?
Hmm.
But the number of deaths under that term, I can't remember the term, is astronomical. It's crazy, but
Hmm.
they don't really share that, right? So you don't see that in the name. I can't even remember the name, so that's another thing, right? So it's like
Hmm.
it's kind of out of the public, but it's a
Yeah,
lot of people that go down every year on that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, it's a big thing, and it's one of those things like, yo, if you don't want to be there, if you don't want to be in the space anymore, I mean, it's better to just move around than to continue to try and aid on these people and do a half job. You
yeah,
need people in there who actually love doing what they do,
yeah,
and are going to do it right. I mean, that's one of the main concerns I have, man. I'd rather, hey, man, I want you in the home with me, so I know what's going on.
yeah.
Um, or I need to know, like, even knowing medications. Hey, I need to know what you're taking, what they got you
Mm,
on. Let me see it.
yeah.
You because it all makes a difference, man.
Yeah, we got to advocate for those that we love. Tech coach Ralph said it changed when people started going into nursing more for money than caring for people. That is so true.
Bingo. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, yeah, and then also you added on if your own way to work, you're already counting down the hours to get off to go to your next job in healthcare. It scares me. It scares me. Yeah, that's a good point. Medical malpractice. That's what Maurice was saying.
Nah, nah, that's not. I was like, that's what it is, but it's another term that they use when they're doing the numbers, like how many deaths
Mm,
are in that. Like, I can't remember. I might try and do some searching, but yeah,
yeah.
it's a whole lot, y'all. It's a whole lot.
Mm, man. And then Mitch said, "What's the solution to one nurse to 8 to 12 patients?" That's true. Let me ask you this: is there a way? I mean, we don't know. We're speculating right now, but maybe this technology could be used. We talked about QA. We talked about a reward system. But how could it make? But there might be ways they could make their job more efficient too, as it continues to grow. Maybe it could be like an AI assistant, for example, and find a way to kind of like document their notes, because I think a lot of what, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know anything about the nursing field, but I'm assuming that they have to document what a patient's going through, fill out charts.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a way that it could say, to the assistant, uh, BP is da 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 da, ways to make them more efficient so that they could save time and then they'll be able to, that ratio that Mitch pointed out here, that one nurse to 8 to 12 patients, it can become a little bit more manageable because there is a shortage of medical professionals out there. What if this AI could be used to quality assurance, tailoring things, assisting them so that it makes it like it's a gift more than a punishment for them. You know what I'm saying? Um, for medical professionals. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
new here, by the way, Mitch says.
No, what up?
But attention, Coach Rouse says, I would want to analyze what the nurses are doing during the time before saying that's the problem. That's true. I mean, this is going to definitely take some time to analyze what exactly is going on in this space. Um, that's exactly what's going on. And I didn't hear about this, but Tech Coach Ralph brought up. Have you heard of the remote virtual AI nurses? That might be next
Mm-mm.
week's discussion. We need to probably talk about that next week for sure.
That's wild right there.
Yeah, like how do you? I
Nah.
mean, I know about telemedicine, but how are
Yeah.
you taking care of me from Timbuktu? I'm interested. I'm curious.
Virtual
That's
AI
interesting.
nurse.
Virtual AI nurses. Well, listen, y'all, there's so much that we could unpack here. We're definitely going to have it. So if y'all are ever interested in continuing to talk about the subject, we are also glad that you're doing that. So let us know what you're feeling about the topic below as we continue the conversation. And now we're going to actually go into one of our segments, our wonderful ones that we like to talk about here, the bulletin board. And I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to read it, but I'm also going to go to the website because I want you guys to go to blacktechglobal.com on your own after this to check it out for yourself. But there are so many. Listen to the list here. If you go to blacktechglobal.com, it's a simple list, comprehensive of all these different events that are happening. So right now, I wanted to share a couple of them with you, and then you could go and check it out for yourself at a later time. But we have the Future Global Tech Summit 24 that's happening in Toronto, California. As you can see, $0 here. We have Accelerator Con in New York City, happening November 8th for $100. November 8th, Tech Fest Live Expo 24 in Houston, Texas for $0.00. Connect after the 9 to 5 mixer happening in Dallas, Texas for $35. And then next week, we have the big one, Afro Tech 24 in Houston, Texas, starting at $450 for that one. Hey, that's like the one of the largest events that we have when it comes to tech events in the United States. So you definitely want to look into that, especially for the people of color. Then we have November 14th to the 16th, Ad Color 24 in Los Angeles, California. Black Tech Social Mixers happening November 16th in Houston, Texas. And then I'm going to wrap it up here with the data for Black Lives Conference 3 in Miami, Florida. Cost to be TBA. If you click on the links here, they'll take you straight to the different events that are happening so that you can see for yourself what is going on. So definitely check that out as well. And I'm going to go back to the comment section before we transition. He says, similar to telemedicine, but you call for a nurse and one comes to the screen right away instead of waiting for an hour for one to come in. Okay, that actually is interesting. That actually is interesting. And then Mitch, Mitch, they're the conversation. So I'm gonna let them have that conversation. I won't get involved. But in regards to that, I'm definitely curious about that. So I would love to probably us dive deeper into that next week as well. A/B testing. We're going to talk about this not in the nursing field, but in regards to working a hybrid. And I want to just share this with you guys to get your thoughts on the hybrid model. What's working the best? Hybrid, remote, or back on the floor. And so, a recent study conducted by Trip.com, a Chinese technology company, provides valuable insights into the effects of hybrid work through a rigorous A/B testing approach. Here are the key findings from a 6-month randomized control trial involving 1,612 employees. So, with the hybrid model, there's improved retention and job satisfaction. The experiment revealed that hybrid working from home had a significant positive impact on employee retention. Quit rates were reduced by 1/3 overall. The reduction in quit rates was particularly notable for non managers, female employees, and those with long commutes. Job satisfaction improved among employees who participated in hybrid work mode. Then also there's performance and productivity that was measured as well. So they basically said that contrary to some executive concerns, the study found no negative impact on productivity or performance. No equivalent tests show that the hybrid working did not affect performance grades over the next 2 years of reviews. Um, there was no evidence of a difference in promotion rates as well over the following 2 years, either overall or for any major employee subgroup. And for computer engineers, the lines of code written were not affected by the hybrid working arrangement. So managers' perceptions, interestingly, the expert experiment led to shift in managers' views on hybrid work. So before the managers had a negative perception of hybrid works in the study, and the impact on productivity, I should say. And then after the experiment, the managers revised the reviews and perceiving a positive impact on these work from home hybrid models. So the study highlighted some important considerations for companies looking to implement hybrid work, like full enrollment in hybrid schemes is crucial to avoid negative signaling about career ambitions, and the low volunteer rate among female employees, despite their high implied value from reduced quit rates, suggests the mandatory or strongly encouraged participation may be beneficial. So basically, the A/B testing this demonstrates that the hybrid work can offer significant benefits in terms of employee retention and satisfaction without compromising performance or productivity. It also underscores the importance of testing and adjusting work models to suit specific organizations' needs and employee preferences. But listen, y'all, this conversation is one I want to share with y'all. So, do you prefer work? Do you prefer hybrid, in office, or remote work? What will your thoughts be, y'all? Do you prefer to work hybrid, in office, or remote? And I'm gonna start with you, brother Trey, because I know you got some
Ha
thoughts on
ha.
this.
Oh yeah, man. I I've been in all three situations, and
Yeah.
I would say, um, barring the actual commute to the job, hybrid is hybrid is cool. Now, the only reason I say that is because I actually like people. I love being around them. There's a certain energy that I get when I'm able to just walk around and say what's up to my friends and have them conversations in person. But I can also do the same thing when I'm fully remote, right? Like I can have the coffee shops that I hit up, and I have a lit one that I go to that hey, there's always people in there. There's a lot of the same people in there that also work fully remote. So over time, you're able to, oh, hey, what's going on? Good to see you again. And then you have conversations. All the people in the coffee shop know you. So, you walk up, you still getting the blah 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 blah, Mr. Scott. Yep. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, you can still have these types of conversations and these types of things if you're fully remote. So I'm in between both of those. But fully at the job, hey man, that's for the birds now, man. I don't know. It's for the birds now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comment section. Unfortunately, some LinkedIn users, I don't get the chance to see your name, so I apologize. But it just says
Yeah,
LinkedIn
yeah,
user says hybrid. We had somebody
yeah.
earlier who said
I
LOL,
agree.
and so I just want to make sure I acknowledge the LinkedIn users out there. Appreciate y'all. If you want to be,
Yeah.
come onto the YouTube side if you want to be get your name across.
You gotta
But
like the video and it'll show your name.
that's true.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know that.
Tech Coach Rouse said, I
Do it
wouldn't
anyway.
mind. Yeah, do it anyway. Do it anyway, especially if you found any value. Tech Coach Rouse said, I wouldn't mind a hybrid if my office was 5 minutes away.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said barring travel time. Now, if it's crazy, hey, fully remote. But if you like right there, like hybrid is what it is.
I tell you, I'm agreeing with you that that commute is not fun. Mitch said, I
Yeah.
actually agree. Hybrid isn't bad, but if you're trying to job stack, it's hard to do. LOL.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can be in trouble right there. Ralph said, "Are you complaining or bragging?" I'm confused. I don't work 5 jobs at the same time, so it's not a problem for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And he agrees with you. Tech Coach Ralph says it's for the birds and Amazon. Oh
Oh
man.
man. Yeah.
And Mitch
They
said
gonna make you
hybrid
do
is
it.
good if you like people, if you like the people you work with. So I guess in your
Yeah.
case, that you talk about.
Yeah, I always do. I mean, there's always some bad apples, but what can you do? What can you do about those? Uh,
Yeah.
a great philosopher said it's only about 9 or 10 bad people in the world, but they
Mm.
move around a lot. They move
Let
around a lot.
me see. Maurice had a comment too. Maurice said, hybrid and remote, the way to go. I had a 1.5 hour commute into the office
Yeah,
by train without delays prior to the pandemic.
my lord, today
Yeah,
I
it sounds
forgot
like,
y'all. Yeah, she must be up like around where they use the train and stuff, like New York type. Like, is that?
yeah,
I don't know. Because that's I don't know, an hour and a half. Well, I take that back because they we have that here. You can go from Fort Worth to Dallas. It's just not as long. It doesn't take that long. I don't think, depending on where
yeah,
you're going.
yeah. I tell you, I'm gonna share my story just now, but I want to make sure we go through these comments.
Oh yeah, she said New York. Okay, yeah,
Oh, yep. So then my comment's gonna definitely make a lot of sense when I
yeah,
share it.
yeah.
Man, Mitch said I used to drive an hour and a half to work every day, one
Hey,
way.
you
Sheesh.
know, you know, Mitch, I was up there with you, man. I was about a hour and 15, something like that at one point. Sometimes if it was a car wreck, hour and a half for sure, but one way for sure. I was the same, and I've been on all the sides. Right, I've been 15 minutes down the road, right, and I've been hour and 15.
Tell me about it. And then I have a LinkedIn user. Sorry, I don't have your name, but it says I think hybrid is great because for those starting up in their career or maybe mid level, being hybrid helps because you can have colleagues to bounce ideas and learn from. That is true.
No, that's for sure. Like if you're brand new in the space or like younger in your career, like you want as much face time as possible. You know what I mean? Like if people don't know you or you're anonymous or you disappear in meetings, it's one thing if you just want to stay where you're at, but if you're looking to grow, that ain't the way. Like, it was
Yeah.
one like when I'm going in the office, even on a hybrid, I was going in the office and you get to have, if you get there at a certain time, which, if you're an hour and a half away and then other people are about 15 minutes, they tend to leave a little bit later. I tend to leave a little bit earlier. So I get there early. Well, you're in there with that director of sales or whatever your space is. So you get to have conversations. I actually had a great relationship with the director. I mean, even higher than a lot of my colleagues. So, sometimes that can be a great thing, especially when you're younger or newer in the space, because now you're visible. People see, they know you. So now when your name pops up, you're not just who is this person? Or I don't remember them. You don't want to be that unless you do. Now, if you do, and you just want to stay in the same place, hey, that's also good.
Yeah, and I would actually piggyback on that and remind, well, I don't know if people remember your story, but there was a time that because the director and people knew you in the company, they were able to advocate for you when a situation arose.
Yeah, so that actually, y'all, that is to bring it back to the first story we had today. That was actually when I was in the pharmacy. I was in a big pharmacy, and yeah, one of my we had a new manager come in, and I always did the same type of work, good work. I try to do the best I can with what I have. And yeah, we had a new manager come in and he was trying to he really wasn't paying attention and he really wasn't doing his due diligence as far as when those yearly reviews came around and he tried to give me a bad one. I wasn't having it. I'm like, "Nah, man, you got to change this." And hey, listen, we came out of that office. There was no cussing going on, but when I came out, people were looking because they could hear me through the wall because I just wasn't having it. And I was being respectful, but at the same time, you're not just gonna put anything on this paper and I'm gonna have to sign off on it. So what I did was I said, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna sign it. I'll be back. And yeah, I went and talked to his boss. And then his boss was like, oh no, because they knew my work and they knew what the inputs that I put in over the years and everything that I do. And yeah, he ultimately, I don't know. I'll just say this: not too long after that, he was gone. But
Hmm.
it's one of those things. That was only a thing because I was visible, because you know, I was known for actually doing good work. It'd be different if I was not visible and I did bad work and I was always coming in late. That'd be a different story, you know.
Yeah, man. Tech coach Ralph, he said, "Oh, man, she's about to catch them hands." I tell you, no, no. That, I'm looking at the comment section. I'm not gonna put them all up there, but definitely, it shows the importance of advocating and doing good work and having
he
relationships.
said, he said I'm a snitch.
Yeah,
No, listen, listen,
I was gonna put it
listen,
up.
Mitch. Listen, Mitch, I'm not a snitch. He was messing with my money. That was a yearly review, and I was needing the max. I wanted my max money because I did max work, and he was messing with that. I was only gonna get the low money, and I said, "Hey, this ain't happening." So yeah, I snitched when I need my money on time, and guess what? He got up out of there, and I got my money.
Well, technically, you weren't committing any
Ex
crimes with
excom
him, so you didn't snitch.
excommunicado,
Snitching,
excommunicado.
snitching is for criminals. You didn't commit any crimes, so you're good. But Ori said some companies that are remote do have monthly or quarterly meetups, which is true. It
Yeah,
all depends on the
yeah,
person and where you are in your career.
yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's ways that you could internally network remotely and do great work and do great work. And then Tyreek James said, "Of course, of course." He came through on LinkedIn. I don't know why other people couldn't come through and have their name shown, but
I don't
Tyreek said,
know.
"Of course."
He must have liked the video. That's all I can say.
Yes, he must have liked the video. And that's a good point to pause and say, "Hey, listen, come over to the YouTube side, like, comment, and subscribe to youtube.com/@ Talk That Tech Show." Again, that's youtube.com. You look at it, it's in the ticker below. youtube.com @ Talk That Tech Show in order to subscribe for the latest and greatest that we have going on here. Oh man. I want to go to Reese's comment before we move on. But she says some companies that are remote, like that Corley one. When I used to work remote, I basically were able to, have that opportunity to internally network in such a way that I made it my business to literally find people that I wanted to connect with and put time on the calendar and say, "Hey, just want to put 15 minutes just to connect." And you'll be surprised that when you start doing that with enough people, especially the higher ups, your name will get around and people will start
Mm-hmm.
talking about you in a positive way, especially if you're working remote. Another tip was try to see how involved you get with ERGs, employee resource groups. Get involved in little different things, volunteer for things here and there, like they may have like a water cooler for employees to gather, say, "Hey, I'll run a session." Or even if you want to do a little bit of an enablement session on something that you're good at, it doesn't have to necessarily be the work itself. It could be something outside of it. Sometimes they may call upon you to do that. If you get your name out there in certain places, it's really good. But also, I wanted to talk about what Mitch said. I currently have a commute to New York City from where I am in Jersey. I walk to the train. That train walk is like 30 minutes from where my house is.
Mm.
So I'm getting my
Mm.
exercise, getting my steps in there. I take the train. So let's say if I leave here around 7:15, I'm getting to work around almost 9 o'clock. So, so yeah, by public transportation. Um, so
Yo.
for so for me, hybrid uh is all I can do because if I had to, I mean, I can't go back to a full in office situation. That's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's like saying, okay, you don't want me any longer, so see you later.
But
It's
that's normal for up there, right? Like
it,
that type of commute.
Listen, my wife, when we lived in Brooklyn, and she had to
Yeah.
commute to a courthouse when she was a stenographer in the Bronx. That that trip alone was over 2 hours from Brooklyn on
Yo.
public transportation going to the Bronx. I know, right? Tech Coach Ralph said Joseph looking slimmer. I'm getting there. Next week I have to go in 3 days a week. So I'm
Oh
definitely
yeah.
gonna be seeing
Yeah,
like
you
this
gonna hit it.
sunken
Yeah, buddy.
face. Be like,
Yeah,
what
buddy.
happened? Oh man, I ain't mad at that. And then Reese is right. And NJ Transit is awful. Yeah, Mitch said, "Yep, normal. Even living in NJ, going to another part of New Jersey, it's so true. You go
Man.
like, oh, this is a nice trip. You look, it's like 50 miles away. It's
Yo,
it's like
yeah,
Texas.
that's
Yeah,
wild.
Texas is
Yeah,
out.
so
Yeah.
we spread out, right? Like it's a lot of space in between places, but I guess because we all use cars, I don't know. It just I don't know, man. Is it all the stops? Is that what it is? That's what adds up everything? The stops? It just adds
Yeah,
on the time?
it's the stops, the connections, how it is, how it's just everything put
Oh yeah, I'll
together.
be out of
The,
there.
the
You
time.
gotta do connections. Like, oh, let me get off this one and get on the other one.
Well, yeah, I got it. Well, I gotta just no, I not anymore. I just do one train.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
see,
do
I would
Ridgely
be out of
Transit.
there. I
But
don't know
like
how none of that works.
no, but in New York, like my wife, it's not uncommon to take two or three
Oh
transit
yeah, I'll
to
be
get
out
out
of
here.
there. I need
Yeah,
one train that's gonna take me straight to the spot, right? Like
reset it to
we have
delays.
the Mavericks, the Maverick Stadium, or you know, if you're trying to go to like the state fair, like I get on the train in one spot and then it drops me off right in front of the Maverick Stadium and I can walk straight into the door. Or right at the state fair. If I gotta go to multiple stops, I'm out of there, bro. I'm
Yeah.
cooked.
Deuces. Tyreek said, going back to your comment though about what you said
Yeah,
about snitches getting stitches. Tyreek is totally valid because I agree that my money is important for all that hard work. So
yeah,
he's like,
man.
I'm not playing with that at all.
You
Uh,
better believe
yeah. He say, Mitchell, I'll just stay down here. I ain't coming up to y'all. All
it.
that commuting and stuff. Listen, y'all, this has been a great show, man. So if y'all have not already, just encourage us and get us in the algorithms more. Go ahead and uh, like this show, share with others as two that have terrible commutes that you were like, listen, this is terrible. They will be able to share their grievances as well, and so we want to definitely make sure that we got that out there. But last but not least, this is the subject that we were talking about for this particular conversation. It talks about AI resume biases. So
Mm.
I'm gonna just pass it over because hey, listen, when somebody saw that comment on LinkedIn, they love this. They said we got to talk about this. So I'm
Oh
gonna
dang.
pass it to Trey to share his thoughts.
That's crazy. Yeah, Ralph, we Southern brothers, bro. We on different time for sure. We on different time. But yes, AI resume bias. Man, it's wild. I just randomly came across it and I was like, man, what is this talking about? And it says, yeah, AI resume screening tools have shown a significant bias. Well, not just a bias, it was significant in how they evaluate and rank job applicants. So, particularly is based on race, gender, and disability status. So, recent research is, yeah, it uncovered a concerning pattern, y'all. There's some wild stuff. So, when it comes to racial and gender bias, a 2024 University of Washington, again, study found that three state of the art large language models gave a strong biases when ranking resumes with names associated with different races and genders. So, white associates' names were favored 85% of the time over black associated names. Male associated names were preferred 52% of the time versus 11% for the female associated names. Black male associated names were never favored over white male associated names. So
Mm,
researchers they varied 120 first names across 550 real world resumes, and this resulted in over 3 million comparisons. So yeah, this large scale basically this analysis it pretty much revealed a clear pattern of not only racial but also gender discrimination by the AI systems. So when it came to the disability as well, the disability bias, another University of Washington study in 2024, it found that even ChatGPT consistently ranked resumes lower if they included credentials implying a disability. So resumes with disability related honors and awards were ranked lower than those identical resumes that didn't have those same credentials. So yeah. Anyways, when they asked to explain the ranking, Chat GPT basically uh, has stereotypes like claiming a resume with an autism leadership award has less emphasis on leadership roles, even after researchers provided instructions to avoid ableism. So yeah, bias persists for some disabilities like autism and depression. Now, the causes of AI hiring bias. There are several factors that actually contribute to the bias in the AI resume screening tools. Number one, I'll just name a few. Number one is bias training data. Okay, so AI models learn from historical hiring data, which often reflects past discriminatory practices. I mean, that just makes perfect sense, right? Number two, flawed algorithms. So the design of the AI algorithm can inadvertently amplify some existing biases, right? Like, who is the person that's designing the AI algorithm? If they have biases, it will probably go into the same AI as well. That makes sense. Lack of diversity. AI systems, they may favor certain traits or characteristics, leading to an unbalanced candidate pool. And then lastly, just a hidden correlation. So AI, it can prefer protected characteristics like genders from seemingly unrelated data points, right? So yeah, when it comes to mitigating that AI hiring bias, basically to address these issues, experts are recommending one, just implement structured training on AI and biases for HR professionals so that they can catch those, right? And then just fostering a collaboration between HR and AI development teams. And then consider blind screening processes to remove personal identifiable information. So, hey, let's just go off of straight facts on what this person has done versus, whether what their name is. Anyway, while AI has the potential to improve hiring efficiency, it's extremely crucial to be aware of and actively work to mitigate those biases and make sure that we have some fair recruitment processes, y'all. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, I'm about to go straight to the comment section.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit it up. Hit it up.
Because we got LinkedIn user coming straight saying racist AI is wild, but not far fetched because we know who created it. That's why it's
I
important for
hear
us
you.
to start representing ourselves in tech, all arenas. Come on.
This is facts. All arenas, all arenas. So yeah, it's important because yeah, when you're not in the room, when you're not in the space, you get forgotten about. And yeah, I agree. I do agree.
I totally hear that as well. Like I think that's what we need to really kind of preach, and I think that's why there's certain people. I had uh Jasmine Wooten on here as well. She was sharing how she's really specifically going for at high schools, trying to say, okay, let's get them ready for career college readiness. Like where the areas that they have true understanding or bend towards, let's get them in these spaces because we're going to be left out of the conversation if we're not pivoting
Yeah.
our youth to that, because it's our generation. Yes, we're going to be involved, but the next generation coming up behind us, they're the ones that are going to be really heavily involved in this and really going to be changing things for the future. um
Look, and it starts even earlier than that, man. On the
mhm.
what is that? The 22nd. On the 22nd, I'll be going to an elementary school to speak with them. I think it's their career day. But yeah, I'll be there all day. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely talking about it because it's important. You got to see y'all in there. And it's not one of the ones that's in my neighborhood. It's gonna
Mhm.
it's one that I grew up in type of deal, right? Like not
Yeah.
the one, but it's in those type of areas. So, the people who don't see that kind of stuff, like, yo, there's something different. Exposure leads to expansion. And so,
Mhm.
just exposing the kids to something different, it will help. So I'm glad she's doing that kind of stuff for sure.
Yeah, and let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section as well. um Mitch says, I'm from where
Yeah.
news cameras never come, you know.
Hey,
And I
big
totally get
facts.
that. Growing up in Brownsville, New York, East New York. Most of my life, I was in Queens for a little bit in Ozone Park. That was pretty cool. But for the most part, I was not in those. I was in those areas, and so when
Mm-hmm.
you're going at that type of environment, what you see is what you think you could esteem up to,
That's it.
unless you get out of that environment physically and are put in different places. Like even though I lived in the area, I was going to school in Queens.
Yeah.
Talking about commuting, I know 3 buses to get there.
That, that's
going to
wild.
school,
Gotta
going to
do what you
school in
gotta
Queens,
do.
going to school in Manhattan, like and able to be in the environment, but not of the environment. And so exposure,
Yeah.
like you said, leads to expansion. And that's the thing I was thinking about is like, man, who is building this? Who is building this? Because if we don't have people like ourselves in the room that are building these technologies, and it's going to continue to this going to continue to be a revolving door, and we're going to get left out. And then
Yep.
specifically, this is about people's livelihoods. This is about people's jobs. And if AI is being used more in this space and it's having these biases, then we're going to see a discrepancy in regards to those that are actually getting the job. Obviously, we know that hey, we have to go beyond that. We have to network, we have to connect with people. But for everybody else who's thinking like, hey, I'm just gonna put my resume in and get in this, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And this is showing us the reason why. Uh, Mitch said, but my high school taught us how to do music, had the real equipment. No, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, absolutely. And let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section regarding this topic. I want to make sure we hear everybody out on this as we're going to be wrapping up the show very soon. So, so yeah, this is definitely one of those things that we're just going to keep an eye on, keep a pulse on it because, hey, we need to be in the room. We need to be
Yeah.
in the room.
It's important, bro. When we're not there, then when we're not there, it's hard to actually get those points across on why we are seeing some of that kind of stuff, right? Why are we even seeing the AI resume bias? Well, because we're not in there making those decisions. Like I've heard stories where, sometimes it's not even done on purpose, right? I've heard stories where there are some people in some top rooms and they're making a decision, but because the black person is in the room, they're like, hey, that actually is not going to go over well, right? And so they're able to make those changes. Why? Because they're just going off of what they know. So to have that other person in the room who can say like, yo, that's not going to work, I can tell you that right now. We need to change the wording on that. Why? Here's why. Blah 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 blah. Now you have start having those conversations. It changes everything. But yeah, got to be there now.
Yep. Do not put the young black boy in a monkey shirt. Don't do it. So if you know, you know. But let's now transition to our last segment that we're talking about today, which is the Brown Box Special. If you are not familiar, this is that part of the show where we share a story of someone who, of
I'm
someone,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's all. Someone who has either been fired, let go, or quit their job. This is a therapeutic moment for us all because we either have experienced it or know somebody that has. And so we're sharing a story. And I have one story for you because of time. Thank you, courtesy of Reddit, for this particular story. But basically, he said, I was a supervisor in a call center, and we had a person
Mhm.
that fell at work. She didn't get hurt, but part of the accident report involved sending her off to an offsite doctor's office for a drug screening. Hmm. She objected
Interesting.
because of cost. We explained that she didn't have to pay for it. She then flipped out on not having gas money to drive the 5 miles to the doctor's office. Hmm. She had to leave and get the drug test before she could return. A few hours later, she came back in with a Smucker's jelly jar full of urine and said, here's your drug test, and walked out. I grabbed a handful of papers and left it on our HR person's desk. She was fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fi- I mean, hey, there's so many things wrong with this story.
All the way.
There's so many things wrong with this story. First of all, okay, the drug screening was free, so obviously Uh, what's
Yeah.
going on here? So drug screening was free, and then she said 5 miles was too much for her to drive. So how you get home? Just trying to figure that out.
Hello.
And then to come in with that Smucker's jar full of whose urine? What's urine? First of all, that's disgusting. That's
Yeah.
unhygienic. Uh, that's crazy.
Jelly. Jelly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jelly urine. Wow.
oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
So I,
she wasn't even trying.
oh no, she basically said,
She
"Listen,
already knew what time it was.
yeah, I'm not finna be caught like this.
The writing
I'm
was
out of
on
here."
the wall.
And apparently in the Smuckers. But so that is crazy. That is a crazy
That's some
story.
wild stuff.
I laughed that he grabbed a handful of papers and brought it to HR though. I would have left it there. I've been like, listen, I'm not touching this. This is what she left
Probably
here.
did.
I would have been like, yeah, listen, we gotta take care of this because this is above my pay grade. I'm a supervisor. I'm not going to be doing this right
Man,
now.
some of them supervisors be going through, man. They be going
Yeah,
through. They have some characters that work under them, man.
yeah,
For
listen.
sure. I feel for you.
Yeah. Listen here. I don't know. That's a crazy story. Y'all let us know what you think in the comment section below about that one. That
Let
was
us know.
crazy story. But listen, y'all, I just want to thank y'all for Darcel said it too. That's a biohazard.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have no hazmat suits for that. Uh so listen, and they're gonna probably suit her as well. They could be like, listen, you forget about not doing the drug test. You're now being a harm to others. So you always got fired, but we got to take you to court, whatever. I mean, they may not, because it's a little thing, but to them, but who knows? Like that was disgusting. Um, that was disgusting.
Mm-mm.
But listen, y'all, again, just want to thank you so much for rocking with your boys on this episode of Talk That Tech. As a reminder, we are again a part of this great network called The Alive. I'm not sure if you were there earlier to see it, but we're part of this great network called The Alive Podcast Network here. And as you can see, our nice little faces right here on the website. There's so many other different shows on here. So definitely check out The Alive Podcast Network at livepodcastnetwork.com. You could obviously download it and whenever your podcasts are sold, wherever you want to, wherever you grab your podcast from, whether it's Spotify or if you grab it on Apple or wherever, it is all here. So definitely check it out. As you can see, there's so many different ones. Not Your Mama's Autism. So breaking down, talking about autism and neurodiversity. There's one that talks about cyber coffee hour. There's a few others that different conversations that are held here. So definitely check it out. There might be something else for you that you may enjoy. So keep checking it out and see what is for you. How I discovered my gift. Different podcasts out there. So definitely check it out. Again, it's the Live Podcast Network, livepodcastnetwork.com. And you can check it out for yourself. For yourself. For yourself. All right, man. This is a great show. Thank you, y'all, again for your time. We appreciate you. And before we go, we're going to throw it on one more time to just pick it up where we left off. If you didn't know, we got a little theme song here.
Oh, we can't hear nothing. Oh, there you
Here
go.
now? Oh, sorry. My bad. Technical issues on my end. But yeah, thank you so much for rocking with us. And I hope that you enjoy it. Have a great day. And you are tuning to Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world, baby. We'll see you next week.
peace and elbow grease.